Welcome, everybody. So, this is a session all about marketing, and we've specifically targeted this session for our community presenter network. So, we haven't really gone too public with this. Made this an invitation out to our members and also the presenters that we've worked with over the past 3 or 4 years who are putting theatre shows on in non-traditional spaces, working in halls, working outside of the kind of the big, large funded performing arts centre network. Um, Connecting Places is our program that supports this kind of theatre presentation. It's very much about keeping live performance live and active and keeping audiences in smaller towns more connected to each other, bringing great shows, hosting great nights, giving local community organisations opportunities for fundraising. And we really love this version of touring. It's a lot of fun and it's back to kind of grassroots touring for the large part. Um, we've got a very diverse network of community presenters, and we've got some independently run theatres like the Rex in Charlton or the Roxy in Oyen, and we've got some neighbourhood houses who book shows and present them in gymnasiums, in schools, in community centres. We've got a lot of halls which are run by really active and really highly skilled and experienced volunteers. So it's a program, Connecting Places, that we've put together to kind of support all of that kind of activity that goes on. Um, when we work with this network, we know that we're dealing with, well, we've got a variety of spaces. We've also got a variety of levels of skills and experience. And so one of the things that we wanted to make it a bit easier is to support with providing technical equipment with our touring parties, but also topic of today is providing really solid marketing toolkits that will help you kind of focus on connecting with your audience, with connecting the idea that you have for putting this show on in your hall and spreading that message out and sharing that with audiences and building great relationships with the people in your community who also love to come together and have a great time and watch great live performance. So we've got Claire Miovich and we've got Emma Hearns from our comms and communications and marketing team, and they are the geniuses who work with the artists to put together the marketing toolkits that we share with you. And so they're going to take us through, have a look at the toolkit, about the different elements of that and how to use them, and give some great tips for how to use them successfully and how to create great events. Um, all right, I might, after we've had a chat with them, we're going to bring in the gorgeous Suz Christison from King Valley Arts, who's with us today. King Valley Arts are a really highly experienced community organisation, a committee who have had a long history of really successful programming. And so hearing from Suz just to give us a bit of talk through some of the things that work for them, so to have hear about her experience about putting on events and the success that she has had and her committee has had in King Valley. Then we'd also like to open the floor and hear from you all as well. I think one of the really great ways that we get better at what we do is connecting with our peers and hearing about what things are working for other people. So we'd really love to hear your success stories, to hear about some great marketing ideas and tips, tricks. What sort of things have you done in your communities and in your programming that have really worked to create great successful nights? All right, with that, I'm going to hand over to Claire and Emma, who are going to have a little bit of a look through the marketing toolkits. Thank you.
Thanks, Bindi. Hi, everyone. I'm Claire. I'm the communications coordinator here at RAV, alongside Emma, who's our digital communications coordinator. So we're the ones that have put together these marketing guides for you, as Bindi said. And actually, since Emma's just started last year, we've actually changed the design and the look of them. So, and they're we're very proud of the way they look now and hope that they work better for everyone. Yeah, they're much easier to sort of navigate now. Well, we're hoping. So if you've got any feedback, just let us know. I'm going to share my screen though, because we're just going to share an example of one. We think that's probably going to be the easiest thing. So just bear with me for 2 seconds while I do that. Oops, not that one. Oh, let me try that again. This one. Okay, can we all see that? The marketing guide on screen. So I'm going to make it bigger for you in just a sec. I just wanted to, before I do that, the marketing guide is kind of in 2 parts. This marketing part of the guide, which is like our new document that Emma's made beautifully since she started, which we're going to go through everything. But then there's also a Google Drive that's attached to this as well, that it is linked throughout this document. Obviously on the front page here, the click here, that will take you through to the Google Drive, which I'll just share with you. Just bear with me, this is clunky, but it's, whoops. Sorry. So this is the Google Drive. So this is what the document will click to. So, and it has folders where, so you can actually download the marketing guide from here in the first folder as a PDF. You've got the company bio on a PDF as well. You've got your reviews and audience quotes in here too. So everything that we mention in that Google, the marketing guide, is in here in your folders. So that we're hoping, and that will be pretty self-explanatory for you. So just bear with me again while I do the awkward swapping over. So high tech. And I'm going to make this big now. So hopefully that's a better view for everyone while I go through this. So yes, this is our new marketing guide. It's obviously, we put it together to provide more context around the show, particularly helpful for front of house and box office staff. It suggests strategies to promote the show and provide marketing materials and resources in that Google Drive that I just showed you. So I'll just flick through. You've got a table of contents so you can easily find what you're looking for when you're going through the guide. And these first couple of pages, this is part of our new design, I guess, that we've put the essential first steps, the next steps, and just flicking over to the next page, help the tickets aren't selling. So we've kind of like incorporated what we feel would be the most important things, or the things that you want to just quickly go to before going through the rest of the information. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk you through today, just to give you a few tips there. So yeah, let's start with the essentials, the really practical first steps that set you up for success. So first up, we talked about the booking links. So get your booking links sorted as early as possible. If you've got a booking functionality on your website, amazing, use that. If not, platforms like Try Booking Your Humanities are really easy to set up and widely used, and most of you have probably used them before in the past. The key thing here is just to make it simple for people to book, and as soon as they hear about the show. Next one, and this one's often overlooked, is make sure everyone on your team has the key info about the show. So we've put some really handy snap facts on page 7, 5 to 7 on this document. But share those with your committee, your front of house team, and anyone answering phones or emails, like the front of house people, because that's what they're going to need. And the quick steps, I'll just go through those so you can see them. The snap facts. So they're all put out really clearly now in the new design, and that each show will have its own snap facts. And this is what we work really closely with the artists who will put in, the producers of each show, to put together these snap facts. And obviously they know their shows best. And this is what you really need to, the box office staff will really find helpful when they're talking to people about the show, when they beforehand know nothing about it. So that's a really important one. a really simple trick is to print them and stick them somewhere visible, especially where booking inquiries happen. It just means that everyone feels confident answering questions about the show. I'm just going to go back to these pages. Posters are obviously really important when you're marketing a show as well. We've included a template and instructions in the resources section, so you don't have to start from scratch generally. Once that's ready, you have to get it out to the community and think where it's going to be the most visible in your community. So like IGA, supermarket, local shops, pubs, schools, notice boards, anywhere that people naturally gather.
Claire, I'm just going to interrupt you quickly. It's showing the next page. If you just go back one page, then we can, yeah,
This one?
cool. Then we're
Thanks,
talking about.
Emma.
No worries.
So yeah, and alongside that, obviously have a bit of a social media plan. So we know that not everyone lives and breathes social media. So we've tried to make this as easy as possible. There are some really simple, easy ideas that you can start with, and then a few more advanced ones too. If you want to build on that, just pick what feels doable for you, and you don't have to do everything, remember. So Emma will go a bit more into detail about social media a bit later. So I might just leave that one for her. Let's start talking about next steps. So we've included here, promote the show in your newsletter. This is a really easy one. Promote the show there, and don't be shy about asking about other local newsletters that you know of to include it too. Community groups are really happy often to help out and spread the word. Local newspapers are often a really good option. Just reach out if they're interested in running a story, and a lot of local newspapers are really looking for that positive community content, so this could work really well. And we've noticed that that's worked really well in the past for a lot of our touring shows. Local radio is much the same. Most of our touring artists that we've worked with in the past are usually really happy to do interviews and to be on the radio. So if you've got a station, a good community radio station in your town, get in touch with them first. And then if they're interested in doing an interview, just loop in the artist, and their contact details will be on this marketing guide. And and you can also go through me and Emma as well. We're really happy to help organise that. And also, don't forget your local council. So they often have strong communication channels and newsletters and social media, etc. And they're usually willing to help promote local events. So here we're moving on to the next page. And we've just put a little bit about the wider community. So talk to your community and your connections. Remember, local groups like Rotary, Probus, schools, choirs, libraries, they can all be amazing supporters. Sometimes it's as simple as sharing your event in one of their newsletters or putting up a poster in those at those venues. And sometimes they'll go even further, like organising a group booking, a carpool, or even making a bit of an occasion out of it with pre or post show catch-ups, which we've noticed that's happened in other touring shows that we've had in the past as well. And you can also consider talking to local businesses about partnering. This is obviously dependent on what sort of show you're going to be doing in your venue, but you could maybe talk to the local pub about a discount meal or pre-show drink with a ticket. That could be something that you could be work really well with a certain show, run a bar with snacks at the events and drinks and foods provided by local businesses. Could offer a package deal for a hen's night off, friends group for a table and some bubbly, like a local winery, cafe, bakery, or artisan producer sponsor the night, or donate a prize for a raffle or support fundraising. There's lots of different ideas. I think the idea is, though, that it's all in the making this to show you feel like a community event rather than just something for people to be a part of, rather than just something they go to attend. I think that's something that's worked really well for a lot of our previous touring shows. And a really good example of that one actually that we've had was like in our 2025 touring program. We had a show called Tash York, Happy Hour with Tash York, I think it was, Windy. And she really made a really great example of, partnering with local bars to do that happy hour. So, they worked together, ticket plus show, and, they provided the happy hour before or post the show. And, talking to their producer, that really, really worked really well. And it was like a whole community event, in those small towns. So it was just a real success story, which Bindi could probably tell you more about that if we've got time later. But yeah, that was a really great example of that, working with the community and businesses in a local community.
Yeah, one of the great things about that one, she drinks a lot of wine in the show, or that's a big part of the show, because it's cabaret and burlesque, and it's a bit raunchy and bawdy and fun. So they got in contact with local wineries everywhere they went, and worked with the presenters to line up a wine sponsorship so that she could be talking about local winery wines in the show and have the bottles on stage in the show. And it was a really great kind of collaborative marketing from both the artists and the presenters.
Yeah. The last little bit here is an important one that if your tickets aren't selling. So we've added a little bit of info if your tickets are a bit slower than you'd hoped. So first of all, don't panic. This is really common, and there's lots of small and practical things that you can do to make a big difference. A good place to always start is social media. So if you've got a bit of a budget, even a small paid ad on Facebook or Instagram can help you reach people in your local area and people that don't necessarily follow your page as well. So broaden the audience out a little bit. But even without spending money, just being active and consistent on social media helps. Posting reminders, sharing a bit about the artist, or even behind the scenes content is always a good way to promote the show. Not just posting the same kind of, poster sort of artwork. Try and mix it up a little bit with, some more stories about the artist. I think always works well. And it's not just about your page. Ask the committee, your board, your volunteers, anyone in your community to share the posts as well. The ripple effects can really help to extend your reach. And then obviously the next big one is your word of mouth. So this is honestly often the most powerful tool in some of the smaller communities. So it's about getting out there and talking to people. That might be at the pub, the bowls club, local events, wherever people are gathering. Just having those casual conversations can be incredibly effective, and again, encourage others around you to do the same. Alongside that, think about your local venues and businesses. Pubs and cafes can be great partners, as we've just talked about. Maybe they can offer a discounted meal or a pre-show drink. If someone has a ticket, even something simple like giving a complimentary ticket to a staff member can help get people talking. So it's all about just that word of mouth, getting that buzz around the show. You can also create a bit of a night out feel about offering group deals or packages, things like table booking or group, or something special for a hens night or a friends catching up. So again, that's obviously very dependent on what sort of show it is. So it's like that example that we just talked about with Tash York. It's all about being visible, being local, and getting people talking. And once that starts happening, ticket sales often follow from there on. So this next part of the marketing guide obviously is just where all the important information lives. So you'll have your producer marketing contact, email and phone. So if you need to get in contact with them about a radio interview, this is where you'll find everything, and all the practical information. How long does the show run? What are the recommended ages? Are there any warnings, etc.? And also this is where you'll be finding all your copy. So anything that you want to post on social media, you want to create some newsletter content, this is where you find your copy and the tagline. And then you've got the key themes and the show in 3 feelings as well. So that always helps kind of just be able to understand the feelings of the show. And again, more practical information, company bio, previous reviews and audience quotes. And again, all of this document has links to that Google Drive that I showed you earlier. And it will all be as documents in the folder in there. We always get the the artist or slash producer that we're working with on the show to kind of carve out their audience segments that they've worked with previously that they think that's been really good for their show. And so, yeah, they'll put together a list and ideas about how to activate them. And this list is really, spend some time looking at this list and understanding the sort of audience segments that's worked for their shows, because they're the ones that do the show. They know what's worked and what hasn't. And yeah, if you ever need any, extra information about audiences and how to activate them, we're always on the other end of the phone to chat through that. There's the snap facts that I was talking to you about before, really important for box office and front of house staff and everyone really. They're a really great one to print out this page, stick it on the next to the phone, so if anyone gets called about it, or post these and embellish them for social media. It's all, these are all your little tidbits that you could talk about the show, create little posts around them. Yeah, very handy to have. So I'm going to hand over to Emma now so she can go into more detail about the social media and posters and other essential things for
Thank you,
marketing
Claire.
today.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm going to take you through the next two parts of the marketing guide. And so first we've got a sort of guide to social media, and then we've got all the resources linked that you might need to create social media posts or other things for marketing. Um, and so, like Claire said earlier, social media can be really intimidating for some people. And so we've tried our best to make it as easy as possible for you and to include some really simple things that don't take much techie expertise or anything, and then some more involved things for people who are confident or want to explore creatively or all of those sort of things. So we'll start like the most basic thing, an important thing for you to do first is to follow both Rav and the artist whose show you're presenting and tag them in any posts that you make. Um, Effectively, what that's doing is widening your audience. So it means that you, as a venue, don't need to have a million followers. It opens it up. So we've got a lot of followers at Rav. So if you post something and tag us, we'll share it with our audience. The artist will do the same. And it's just, yeah, those ripple effects of getting more eyes on those posts. Another really simple thing that we recommend you doing straight away once you've set up your booking link is making a Facebook event. We've got instructions linked there on how to do that, but that means so it's like a little Facebook page, so you can put an image there and details about the show, but it means that people can mark themselves as attending or interested. And so you can get an idea of, numbers that might be interested but haven't bought tickets yet and those sort of things. And you can post in that group. And it'll notify everyone who's ticked attending or interested. So that's a really great way to give reminders about, 2 weeks left until the show to book tickets for what we'd call in social media like a warm audience, people are really interested in the show already, but maybe just haven't got to the point of booking tickets. So that's a really handy one. And then we've got a list of content ideas for social media. So the idea with social media is doing regular posts because we know that it takes more than once for people to take the action of booking a ticket and spending their hard-earned cash and all of that sort of thing. So the idea is that we have really sort of regular posts from the moment that you get this guide and setting up until the show occurs, so that people are seeing it often. It's on their mind. It's reminding them to book. It's showing them more reasons why they might be interested in attending the show. So we've tried to make it easy for you and give you a bunch of ideas of what that content could be. So it could be as simple as using the video and images we've provided, adding the tagline that we've provided about the show and the booking dates. Um, you could record a video of yourself or someone else talking about how they're excited to see the show or what the show's about or something like that. People love behind the scenes content, so you could film the artist bumping into your venue or stuff like that and post that to your socials. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of different ideas there, and some more involved ones of, running giveaways or competitions on social media to win a free ticket. Um, yes, so there's sort of endless ideas, but we've given you a few there. Go to the next page, Claire. We've gathered some hot tips, some from us and some directly from the artist whose show you're presenting. Um, and we've got instructions for all of those. So it's just things like if you wanted to do paid ads, we've got instructions of how to do that. Um, Something really helpful is creating a collaboration post, which we walk you through doing, which just means that your post will appear both on your page and the artist page. So again, increasing that audience. And more eyes on it. We've got sharing your event or your post to other Facebook groups, community groups or stuff like that who might share it with their audience. Um, we've got an important tip about increasing the regularity of posting 2 to 3 weeks prior to the show because we know that that's when people start taking the actual action of booking tickets. We've linked some resources that Rav has made in the past about marketing and social media, if you wanted to delve in deeper. And then we've got some marketing tips from the artist. So this is them thinking about, they've toured lots of places. What has really worked, get bums in seats for their shows in other places. So that's a really valuable part of this that the artist has reflected on and, yeah, worked hard at providing. Next page, Clip. And then this is all the resources that we have for you. So the Google Drive that Claire showed you at the start. Um, all these links will lead you there. We've got images, we've got video, we've got a poster that the artist has put together. We've got all the logos that you might need to add to posts. And yeah, basically it's all there ready for you. Next page, Claire. I will go back. So what I thought I'd do now is show you guys a tool that might be helpful for you to have a go at with some of this social media um, and other marketing. So there's an online tool you might have heard of called Canva. And it's a completely free, so you just sign up with your email. Um, it's a graphic design tool basically that means that anyone, no matter your skill level, can do some basic graphic design. Claire, have you stopped sharing your screen? It's just not letting me share until thank you. So, can everyone see my Canva? Yep. So this is Canva. Like I said, free online graphic design tool that should make it really easy for you. Once you're logged in, this is what it looks like. And as I said, that's a free login. And I'm just going to show you a couple of different things that might be relevant to you. So one thing is grabbing the poster that the artist has provided you and just adding your venue or any other details on that before you print it out. That's a really simple thing that we can do. So let's start there. So we'd go up to create, and Canva has every single size that you could possibly need for any sort of marketing here. So an Instagram reel, an Instagram post. I'm just going to search poster, and it'll come up with posters. Let's say I want to do an A3 poster. And it's just going to bring up a document. Looks kind of similar to Microsoft Publisher or Word. Um, and then all we're doing is downloading the poster that the artist has sent us from over here in our marketing guide, which I've already done. And we just go to upload, upload file. I'm going to upload this beautiful Eat, Pray, Walk poster that Marcus has provided. And I'm going to click it to add it to the page, drag it out just like you would in Word or Publisher to the right size. And you can see that on the poster there, the artist has left a little gap for you to add your venue title or dates or whatever information you see fit. Then there's just text over here, and you can add, it'll just pop it in there. I'll zoom in, just drag it around with this thing, and just add the name. I'm just going to say venue name, for example, and venue date. If this is feeling beyond you, you can also just literally print it out and write this on yourself, but we're just providing this as an option. And so you can do all kinds of things of the color, of bolding it, those sorts of things. But then that's done and free for you. You go share and download. You can download that as an image or a PDF ready for you to print. So that's an idea of what Canva can provide you. And then if you wanted to get more into, I'm just trying to move this. There we go. If you wanted to play further, I'll just show you quickly. One of the best things about Canva is that there's all of these templates created for you, which means that you don't have to be a design expert to create things. So if we go into templates, we can explore all of these templates created for us. So say we wanted to make an Instagram post, we just click that, and there is endless different visuals that we could go with. And I'll show you an example of clicking on one. You go customize this template, and then all you would need to do is sub in the text and image. So if I make this say eat, pray, walk, and I make the text smaller, much smaller. And then I put in just if I was to change the date and venue name and all of that. And then again, I can just go back to this uploads where we were before, upload an image that I've saved from the drive, like this beautiful one. And then literally all I'm doing is dragging that into where the other image was. And there you have like a beautiful poster or Instagram post or whatever you wanted to use that for once you've edited all this text. Again, if that's feeling too complex, you can literally just post that image, just download that image, post it to Instagram, use the text that we've given you with the tagline and the short copy and all of that, and post that straight to Instagram. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of that tool.
Thanks, Emma. That's great. I'll just jump in quickly to let people know too that majority when you're booking a RAV touring show, artists will provide their posters, like the one that Emma just gave an example of, with
Yeah.
that space. So it's very rare that we would be expecting you or you'd need to like design a poster like this. You may want to design your own poster, but if there it is a chance that you have to do more of this kind of creative work, this is something that we're here to help with. So you can just get in contact with us, and we can kind of whip one up quickly and, get you sorted like that. So please don't feel that, oh my God, I have to become a graphic designer now. Even though Canva does, it is very good and it does make people, even with really bad graphic design skills like me, pretty good at it. So
Yeah,
I
thanks,
recommend
Claire.
giving it a go.
It's worth sharing because it's something that can be used for all sorts of activities that your committee or your organisation is doing.
Totally.
Not just like we use it in RAV for a lot of stuff that we make, but it's available for lots of other things as well.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a game changer in how click and drag and easy to navigate it is for a lot of people. All right, we're just conscious of time. If you're all good, Emma and Claire, we've hit the end
Yeah.
of. Thank you so much. That was really good to just walk through and see that stuff in detail. But I'm going to invite Suz to the microphone at the downstage centre position of the stage. Um, and just say thank you so much, Suz, for coming to join us. Suz has worked with RAV over a number of years at King Valley Arts and has presented, most recently, presenting Scotty's BMX bike trick show.
Thanks, Bindi, and thanks to the whole RAV team, Claire and Emma. That marketing pack is really where it's all just so easy to go in and get the bits and make sense of it in our little corner of the world. So I thought everyone that's on's been doing lots of listening. I might ask, where are you from? So the other presenters who are there in the background, maybe pop it in the chat if you're able to click the chat bubble at the bottom of your screen. I'm just aware that we're really short of time, but I'm just keen to know where you're from. So if the chat's not so good for whatever reason, on your phone it's quite awkward, but maybe can I just do like a micro call out to each person that I can see who may. Leslie, where are you from? Oh, you're on mute. I can't lip read that well.
There's been a few.
Okay, yeah, I'm from Breuven, in East Gippsland, and we just had the Scots bike show yesterday at the school, and it was absolutely fantastic. And they brought their band as well, these two guys. So we had a live band at the school, 60 kids, and it was amazing.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. And I can see now in the chat, Jan, Jack, Eildon, Corowa, Trelgan. So I think the bit that we all know is we get this information, these amazing shows, and I'm really grateful for the quality performers that are prepared to drive out into the middle of nowhere. They turn up at these dodgy halls where I live, in the King Valley. We work with 5 different venues, and we have to be aware of the local politics about when did we last put on a show in the Chess Hunt Hall? Is it time to go back to Myrie? We don't want to annoy the Idayapa people by overlooking them completely. So making sense of it is about knowing who's around, who's interested in what. The comedy shows do well. The family stuff like Scott's BMX bike trick show, that was a hoot. We had families. So I guess I'm trying to keep it to 3 points: partnering, promotion, and fun. So the partnering that works really well in our patch is finding out who's interested, who are the yes people, the people that just can do. So when we've approached the Edo Upper Hall, they're like, oh, awesome, we're out in the middle of nowhere, we've got the CFA shed here and the tennis courts, but no one ever comes here. So, yeah, we just want to do stuff that's going to get people to turn up to our little hall. So they do catering. They'll do the supper. So I say we, it's the arts committee, started with an art show. So I've just kind of piggybacked onto a group of people who are passionate about arts, and then brought the live theatre and music stuff. And then a few of them are really actively engaged, and then the rest of the committee will buy tickets and turn up. So it's super helpful to partner with a core group who'll help you organise stuff, and then venue hosts who are keen to be actively engaged in doing stuff, because it's the word of mouth promotion that I've found is really powerful in rural and regional areas. So partnering, and then sometimes the BMX show, we got the local primary school asked if they were keen to do a fundraiser barbecue. And that means it's easier for families to rock up at 6 o'clock, stay for the show at 7 when the kids are fed. And it also means the word of mouth works really well when the parents go, oh, we need more helpers to run the barbecue. And so they'll get more people turning up, and they'll talk to their friends from the next little school in the cluster and say, hey, mum's going to this bike show, come along, get your whole family to come. And that is literally how we got enough people to turn up for that show, through the barbecue and the word of mouth, as well as all the other stuff that's in the marketing pack. So doing the local newsletters, making it really easy for the people who run the Witty Matters or the Greeter Grapevine and the More You Buzz. So just saying, here's an article, here's a picture, and then they'll put it in because it works for them. So partnering, promotion, and then sometimes I realised I get really into all the details and organising and getting the ticketing links, and I've been using Canva to do the posters and having fun with that. I'm mildly competent, but I can get a good enough poster to put into the newsletters and up at the shop and the garage and the pub, those local places. But sometimes I forget to have fun. Like I get a little bit worried about making sure that everyone is looked after and everyone's invited. So that would be my third point. Just keep it fun, because if we're volunteering, bringing the shows out, trying to look after the audience, trying to work out how can I make Humanitics work on my phone, which I did. I'm disproportionately proud of myself for some of these technological skills. So it's all possible, but yeah, partnering, promotion, word of mouth newsletters, and have fun.
Thanks so much, Suz. That's really fantastic. Oh, one more thing?
No, I was just trying to keep that short as an overview, and then leave lots of time for questions and chat.
Yeah. Fun is such, like, that's the reason why we do these things in the first place. I'm so glad that was your third point. That's the best. I'd love to hear from the people who are here. Is there anyone who'd like to talk about what works for them with marketing? Maybe if there's challenges that you're facing that you'd love to hear, or any kind of secret success stories that other people have had, if you'd like to share, would be really great to hear. I love it. Excellent marketing, putting a bit of a promo for a show in the chat. Thanks, Carl. I think one of the marketing the poster run in small towns include the doctor's waiting room. That's a great idea. Where are the places that people are captive? Where are you sitting waiting? I think it's good. Like, it's what we found is different things work in different communities. There's a small town up in kind of northwest Victoria where everything, if it's not on the weekly newsletter, it doesn't, they're not on Facebook really, they're not into social media, but there is a weekly printed newsletter that gets distributed from the fish and chip shop every Friday morning or every second Friday morning. And that is on everyone's fridge and on everyone's kitchen table, and it is absolutely the Bible for what's going on in the town. So being really cognizant of how people in your community find out about things is really good. Some towns, Facebook is where all the information is, and that's where everyone goes. Being sort of conscious of how people find out about things is really good. The How Long Grapevine once a month and in colour. The oldies do love a poster. I'm a fan. I don't call myself an oldie. I'm getting there, but I still love printed materials. I think there's something about having a poster or a flyer or something that you see and you can hold and tangible that helps to stick those dates in your memory that I think digital can be quite fleeting. And but I think that's having a mix of those things is what really works. So different people will connect with the information in different ways. So if you're creating collateral in online spaces and in kind of the doctor's waiting room, at the netball change rooms, in the notice board outside there, I think one of your other things was finding your people. So who are your local champions? Who are the people that are going to be the gas bags and who talk to everyone, and who's running the tuck shop that week, and who are those people who are the connectors in your community? Who are the people who everyone kind of looks to kind of go, oh, what's happening this week? There's always someone who knows everything that's going on.
Just on that too, if you wanted, because we obviously provide the poster artwork. So if you did feel that, a flyer or something like that would work really well for your town, again, get in touch with us because it doesn't take much to be able to kind of work it around a little bit so we can create something like that. And then you've got the files to then go and print and, distribute it around the town. So yeah, just don't hesitate to get in touch with those sorts of stuff about that, with us about that sort of stuff.
So Christy, you're down in Jan Juc. Are you putting on shows? Like, what's your organization? Oh, Christy's not there. I put on the open mic in Torquay. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, it's a great way to kind of keep fostering a creative community too, like those events. How do you welcome new people in to your community, and how do you get more people connected to the work that you're doing? And open mic, calling out for new talent is a great idea. Is there anyone else who'd like to talk about what they do?
Marlena speaking. I'll say what I do. I'm so sorry I was late. I totally missed Diarize. So being a classic
That's
creative.
all right. We've recorded it, so you can go back and watch it. That's fine.
Oh, awesome. I'm in Castlemaine and I'm running a dance and yoga school. There are about 12 staff and 200 kids. And it's been a steep learning curve, but so far, so good.
Excellent. So you would have your end of year concerts and midterm recitals and displays and all sorts of things.
Hi, Marlena. I'm a Castlemaine local as well in town. So, yeah, I might see you around.
So, Khan, did you want to talk a bit about Murray Arts Creative? And like you've got a lot of great suggestions in here, especially like that one about saying don't clash with the dead ball or the footy finals. I think being conscious of what are the other key events in your community and not having two things on at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm based in Corowa, New South Wales, and I've been there in this district for about 30 years, I suppose. And I've
Mm.
done an enormous amount of community shows and amateur theatre companies, and I write, direct, and I produce. I do the whole lot, slash, as we call it back in the country areas, because you have to. Now I'm focusing on my own work at a professional capacity. And I worked a lot with Hothouse Theatre, who are the only professional theatre company outside of a city centre, apart from Wollongong. So yeah, I've learned a lot of tricks, but basically, I can get 800 to 1,000 people to shows that I put on, and the amateur, what I call non-professional, because I don't have to pay my actors, but we build it in such that it's a growing living experience for them to do. Haven't done one of those for a while, so I've gone back to doing just a one-woman show. And I actually wrote it out of frustration because we've been bringing touring shows in for such a long time. I just didn't feel that our country voice was being heard on stages.
Mm.
So I ended up doing Queenie Van Sant's cabaret course, which was really good, and got a lot of sort of, because there's no money in it. So how do I get a show out? So anyway, post-COVID, I knew that we were in a loneliness epidemic, as by the stats and studies that I've been reading. So I created this multi-generational show called River Songs, which is a love letter to the Murray-Darling Basin and
Beautiful.
rivers. And it's taken 30 years, but I've been working on it solidly for about 4 years. And the idea was to work with really good professionals locally, that we could take it out nationally. So because of COVID, we just got this international director living in Rutherglen, and I convinced him to work with me. So we've just had the loveliest time. And then an award-winning filmmaker, Helen Newman, who did the major projections, and that was mainly so I could get my young kids in. So we had from 3 months old to 90. So, and it's very conscious. I was very deliberate about that, because what I want to do with these tiny halls is raise a bit of money for the upkeep of the hall. And they've been such a symbol of human connection. And the show's only 60 minutes, so to manage people's bladders and concentration spans. And then there's a whole workshop series that I can do with that, because I used to be a performing arts teacher. But also I'm working with a PhD gallery artist, risky play, kid stuff, to sort of incorporate kids being sort of busy, active, sort of doing their thing during the performance. So yeah, but I was a bit gobsmacked at how much it resonated, and how the audience thought it was really funny. I got a lot of beautiful feedback, especially from the 80 and 90-year-olds. So it was their history. And then the younger ones like, oh, I didn't realise, because there's quite a bit of history and the facts and figures.
I think people really respond to stories that are set in place, stories from their own communities. I think that's a really, we've found that there's been so much more success in like this network of hall space shows, and the companies like you're talking about, like the local theatre companies who are, we spoke to Apollo Bay Theatre Company last month, and they devised in a similar process, telling the history of the town, and it was a massive sellout and a huge success. I think there's a real appetite for people to hear their own stories and see their own stories told on stages. I'm such a fan of it, and I think that's like it markets itself in like bringing it back to this concept of marketing. The idea of intergenerational is tapping into lots of different networks of people who'll be interested. If it's got anything that's got a connection in the show, I think half of marketing success is programming, is about what you're choosing to put on in your season, in your program. What do your audience want to see? What does your community want to experience? And find the shows that fit for your audience, rather than just picking out of a list and going, yep, that one. But if you having a really good, solid connection in your mind about why this is the right show for your town and your people, just makes your job of promotion so much easier. We're coming up to the end, which is that's gone by really fast. So couple of things, just if you are in a Victorian-based community arts organisation, we've got some opportunities open at the moment for small hall for mentorships and a co-commission. So I encourage you to have a look at that on the Connecting Places website. If you are interested in more of this, we have a registration page. If you're looking at booking a show with us, we ask you to join up as a community presenter, and there's registration on the Connecting Places page. So I encourage you to do that as well. But just hand back to Nell to do the final wrap up. But big thank you to Suz and for everyone here for coming and chatting and talking. And thank you to Claire and Emma for taking us through so beautifully, step by step, on the resources and the steps available to you to have a great event. Nell, thank you.
Thanks, Bindi. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks, Suz. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Emma. And a huge thank you to all of you for coming along and engaging with RAV. I'd really like to give a big shout out to our members that are here as well. I can see a couple of you in there, and members are the foundation and the backbone of RAV. It's you're why we're here, why we do what we do. And for those of you that may not be members, please check out our website. We are a completely independent, not-for-profit, membership-based org working in long-term partnership with every level of government, advocating, fostering contemporary creative practice. And we've got great benefits. So one thing I was thinking of, as a member, we can help share your events, not only the events that you're touring through RAV, but as a member, you can put events on our website. And then Claire will help share those and raise and help promote them. And also you get to be part of a community. So thank you so, so much for coming along. We've got some other events coming down the track, like Lyrebird is coming on in a couple weeks to talk about presenting world-class music in their small hall. And so keep an eye on our website, and a huge thank you to everybody.